Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live. I am Wendy Laya. Headlines for this afternoon. Media General sweeps 6 awards at the Radio and Television Awards. Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, urges governments to put on hold the creation of new regions. On the international front, President Donald Trump's controversial nominee for the Supreme Court, Brett Kavanaugh, sworn in following weeks of rancorous debate. I've got details of these stories and many more lined up this afternoon. Let's start now. And residents of Chokome Botiano area of the South municipality have taken the fight against open defecation a top-notch higher by forming a task force to deal with the menace. Peter Kwao Adato reports that the task force will primarily focus on the policing and warding of people from defecating in the Dinsu River and along the beaches.
The Sustainable Development Goal 6 seeks to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. The goal aims at achieving universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all by 2030. The goal again targets access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all and to end open defecation, amongst others. However, Ghana's fight against sanitation, open defecation and access to affordable drinking water has so far been erratic. Almost every community, including communities along the Denso estuary in the South municipality, continue to struggle for answers on best ways of managing waste. These communities lack designated waste collection sites. As a result, residents dump waste directly into the Denso River and at the beach. They again defecate openly into the river and at the beach, very near to the popular Bojo Beach Resort. These activities have led to severe pollution of the Denso River and the seawater. This prompted the unit committee of the Botiano electoral area to adopt a strategy to deal with the menace.
We've constituted a task force, numbering about 24, who go around the beaches every morning to drive away whoever we see defecating at the beaches. So we are encouraging each and everybody in the area to get involved into this provision of Gamma.
Even though the strategy, according to the Assemblyman for Botiano electoral area, Charles Aitiama, is working to plan, issues of sanitation still remain a challenge.
It's very, very effective. And now when you go to the beach, you wouldn't see any of that sort around, but then rather they dump rubbish at the beaches.
More on open defecation, and a 4-seater sanitary facility has been constructed to discourage open defecation along the beach close to the Cape Coast Castle. The project, under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, is to be rolled out in other coastal communities to eliminate the shameful and unhygienic practice.
Open defecation around the Cape Coast and Elmina castles in the central region has assumed international attention and become a threat to the tourism industry. The castles remain the 2 UNESCO heritage sites in the region. However, its surroundings over the years have been polluted by acts of open defecation, a menace that has triggered sharp responses from the Tourism, Art and Culture Ministry and Traditional Authority. The sector ministry has set up a task force headed by workers of the Ghana Museum and Monuments Board to check the practice with a view to make the beaches clean to promote tourism.
We've also got the fishermen themselves, the leaders, to police the area. Anybody who is seen defecating will be caught and
The Omahini of the Gwa traditional area, Osaberima Kwesiata, said chiefs were committed to ending the menace as it had become a deeply worrying situation.
We've started tackling this problem. If you go to Victoria Park, to the right, about 20-30 meters, we've put up 4 Dingaloo toilets there. And we are going to put another 26 30 in all, stretching from the whole coast of Cape Coast.
He gave an assurance the coastline along the castle will soon achieve an open defecation-free status with the construction of more sanitary facilities accessible to residents close by them, after which perpetrators who continue the act will be arrested and prosecuted.
Let's look at floods now, and the people of the Upper East region are counting huge losses resulting from flash floods and spillage of the Bagri Dam. 17 people died and property running into tens of thousands destroyed in this year's floods. Development experts are pressing hard on government to construct larger dams to contain the floods.
Flash floods and spillage of Bagri Dam adversely affected some socio-economic activities in the region. Dams swelled to record high levels and the impact has been devastating. 122 communities were affected by the floods, leaving bitter memories on the minds of many. A NADMO report confirmed a total of 17 people died, with 2 others missing in the floods. Houses collapsed and over 18,000 people, including children, were displaced. Agricultural activities have been badly hit, as 11,734 farmers were also affected, with a total of 29,899 acres of assorted crop lands submerged.
We had mapped the dams, the medium, large-scale strategic dams, and the small dams. There are at least three dams that are absolutely strategic. The first is the Polgu Dam, multipurpose dam. That dam is key to managing the floods.
Development experts are worried and want major dams constructed in the area.
In this rainy season, cannot fail to notice green large fields, abundance of water, hard-working people on the land. But come November, the area is transformed into a dry patch land. The water would have run off to the sea. This is why organizing water properly, including flagship dams, is a first priority.
The Bagri Dam shouldn't be a perennial disaster problem. The Bagri Dam should tend to be a perennial, an annual opportunity that we will have multiple dams waiting for the Bagri people or the Burkina people to open the dam so that we harvest and store the water in our big multiple reservoirs.
The Minister for Special Development Initiative, Hawa Kumsin, considered the what the agent need for the construction of dams to tackle the perennial problem.
Allow the water to be wasted. At the end of the day, the whole country will be flooded, and then within 1 month, people are suffering looking for water here and there. So the president is seriously working out measures so that apart from collecting this water and not allowing it to be wasted, he's also looking at how he can resolve the problem of the people who are by the river banks.
Away from that story, the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has imputed over 15,000 cases in the West African Police Information System WAPIS database. 98% of crime captured data are cases in the Nsaram prison. Director General of Police CID DCOP Mami Tiwa Adodankwa disclosed this when the European Union presented 40 workstations and other equipments to the police.
One of the key factors that makes crime fighting easy and less complex is access to crime data on a secure platform. Ghana's struggle to fight crime is partly due to the absence of harmonized data. This is about changing courtesy the West African Police Information System WAPIS initiative. At least over 15,000 cases from the police and immigration services have been imputed into the WAPIS database.
The program has also provided the needed cooperation between the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Immigration Service to share information on convicts before their release from prisons. A large volume of criminal data from the Ghana Immigration Service which were previously not shared, are now available on the WAPI database. And we are currently imputing convicts from Kumasi Central Prison, Tamale, Ankafo, and other prisons to populate the WAPI system.
This effort is being enhanced by the presentation of 40 workstations, 40 scanners, 40 uninterrupted power supply units, and service by the European Union.
The WAPIS program will allow the police to maintain police information in a computerized central national system and thereby allow law enforcement personnel to access quickly that information, analyze it, and permit the police to address security threats more effectively.
We know that the project has gone through some challenges, but Ghana remains a success story of the initial phases. So we all count on new Ghanaians to lift this project to the next level and to support your neighboring countries to achieve the same objectives and success as you have achieved.
A philanthropist, Robert Ashikote, also donated 2 pickup vehicles and 6 motorbikes to support the police in their operations.
This shows or epitomizes the need to actualize and implement what I call the collective effort and the collective responsibility for security.
WAPIS is an organization to collect, centralize, share and analyze criminal information from relevant national and international law enforcement agencies in support of crime investigation. The equipment would be distributed among 22 WAPIS database centers across the country to fast-track the data collection process.
So some more stories, and a total of 293 beneficiaries of the Youth in Afforestation program have been found to be working in other government institutions, including persons serving as national service personnel. Peter Kwao Adato reports 120 beneficiaries in the Seshurioso district were found to have presented fake appointment letters.
The Forestry Commission last year set out to recruit 15,000 youth to help prosecute an agenda of afforestation across the country. The exercise, however, attracted over 80,000 applicants, compelling the Commission to exceed its target. At least 25,371 youth were engaged as at September 12, 2018, to plant 25,000 hectares of forest plantation annually. The beneficiaries were clustered into 3 categories, based on the educational qualification. Those with degrees were made supervisors, with HND holders as assistant supervisors, while WASI, BEC and others are referred to as field staff. And this opened the floodgate for criminal elements to infiltrate.
And the breakdown is as follows. GSFP 1, LEAP 38, Ministry of Health 4, National service persons who have not completed their national service but decided to join the Youth in Afforestation program 154, teachers under SLTP 29 and other Youth Employment Agency program 67.
Some beneficiaries also have fake appointment letters.
Some of the beneficiaries who claim they are graduates were asked to bring their certificate, be it degree or diploma. They refused. They were also asked to bring their national service certificate, which is a basic requirement for employment in all government agencies in this country. Some also refused.
At least 120 cases were found in the Seshurioso district, and they were immediately sacked. Interestingly, the Forestry Commission has not taken any action against the persons involved in the criminal offence.
We are not taking up any legal actions against them because nobody has come to complain to us. So we want to leave it at that and then stick to our core business.
The Commission, however, says it will ensure that no one takes undue advantage of the opportunity created to cheat the system, adding only those who work will be paid at the end of the month.
So if you work for today and then tomorrow you stay at home, the next day you stay at home, go to work on the 4th day and expect to be paid, it will not be done because you haven't worked for 18 working days, which is the minimum number of days required.
The Forestry Commission says a sustained fight against galamsey has resulted in increased illegal chainsaw lumbering, particularly in the western region. The illegal chainsaw operators have turned their weapons on forest guards, prompting the Commission to seek a collaboration with the ministry. A report by Peter Koadato.
Ghana's forest and wildlife remained under siege by human activities including illegal farming, mining, logging, poaching and harvesting of non-timber forest products. Recent rapid field assessment by the Forestry Commission revealed that nearly 24,500 hectares of intact forests have been lost to forest illegalities in the western region alone. This, according to the Commission, was as a result of the ban on galamsey.
The numbers also seems to be increasing, partly because there is a ban on illegal mining. You find more of the people, because it's the same area, the same forest, you see more of them drifting towards the illegal chainsawing activities.
The survey again indicated that sophisticated weapon-wielding illegal foresters are prepared to go any length to stay in business.
We look broadly at what is happening and how it is impacting on our activities, and then we take a decision, and then we look at the logistics available to us, we look at the ways we want to handle it, and we realize that this...
The Forestry Commission lamented majority of the ill-equipped forest guards have been maimed. The joint military action is therefore to combat the widespread degradation in the region. The approach was adopted after a multi-stakeholder consultation in Sefirioso to attract support of the traditional authority.
The military intervention normally wouldn't last for long, but it is strategic. It will stabilize the system, and then that would allow our structures to work. We have a rapid response team, we have our frontline forestry guards, and then they will then take over. But we think that the capacity of the people dealing with these illegalities will be reduced after the intervention. Our people will be able to handle the situation.
Operation Halt, which began September 13, is expected to end on October 4. A number of items, including 30 trucks loaded with illegally sourced timber, over 2,000 pieces of doors and uncountable number of beams have been seized. A limited number of the military personnel would be retained after the exercise to retrain the forest guards.
To one of our headline stories, and the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, is asking government to put on hold the creation of new regions to reduce the pressure on the public purse. At the launch of the 2017 report on the state of the economy, a research fellow at the institute, Nana Osei Bonsu, noted the financing of new regions will be a resource burden on the economy.
A report on the state of the Ghanaian economy 2017 by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISA, indicates that the Ghana Revenue Authority failed to meet its revenue target by 2.4%. The report cited administrative leakages and inadequate revenue mobilization to finance major projects. A member of the research team, Nana Osei Bonsu, noted the shortfall would put pressure on the limited resources.
There are a lot of leakages, and you see, we the citizens also, we need to help. We know a lot of people around us who are not paying their tax, but want to enjoy the fruit of the nation. And we need to plug all those loopholes. There's quite a lot of leakage. The informal sector, as said by the chairperson, about 80%. We really don't know what they are doing. And it's likely some of them are not paying tax. And we need to identify them so that we broaden the tax base, so that the little we all put in will help address the concerns of the nation.
He explained that government expenditure must be controlled in order to meet economic targets and cited the creation of new regions as expenditure which could be delayed to ease pressure on the public purse.
When you create more districts, you bring the ordinary person closer to decision making, which is fine. But the cost in setting up a new district is where the problem is. Do we have enough resources? Because the district should come with certain amenities. you should have a hospital, you should have a district assembly building, you have to recruit. Are we ready? Do we have the resources for that?
Creation of the 6 new regions intended to accelerate the pace of the country's development would bring the total number of regions in Ghana to 16.
Now to healthcare, and child healthcare in Ghana has seen a boost in the increasing number of pediatric nurses. At the Pediatric Nurses Meeting Congress here in Accra, Programs Manager for Sick Kids Pediatric Nursing, Grace Barnes, said this will ensure the survival of children in their first stages of life, reducing infant deaths.
An estimated 6.3 million children under age 15 died in 2017. 5.4 million of them were under the age of 5, and 2.5 million of those children died within the first month of life, which translates into 15,000 under 5 deaths per day. More than half of these early child deaths are due to conditions that could be prevented with access to simple, affordable interventions. The United Nations Millennium Development Goals (MDGs) galvanize the global community to improve child health. Ghana and partners have reduced under 5 child mortality from 128 per 1,000 live births in 1990 to 56 in 2014, an effort to reach MDG 4. In 2011, there were less than 5 nurses trained in pediatrics working in Ghana. Currently, there are more than 300 pediatric nurses across the country.
Every child is precious. They should handle them with care. If for any reason they think they are not confident or competent enough to handle a child, they should refer as early as possible so that the child gets the appropriate care.
The rector of the Ghana College of Nurses and Midwifery, Hannah Akwa, urged the pediatric nurses to make an impact on the lives of children and their families.
Children are our future as a nation, and we should do everything to make sure that they get the care that they need to be able to live to adulthood and be useful citizens of the country.
The theme for the Congress was promoting quality and efficient pediatric care, the role of the pediatric nurse.
More on healthcare, and witchcraft continues to be one of the major barriers to the fight against tuberculosis here in Ghana. Although awareness of the disease is high, a sizable number of Ghanaians do not believe TB is a condition that needs to be taken to the hospital. The National Tuberculosis Program Manager, Dr. Frank Bonsu, wants more education to demystify the myth.
Ghana has set 2030 to eliminate tuberculosis completely. In order to achieve the goal, 44,000 diagnostics are supposed to be conducted every year. In 2017, however, the TB control program managed to do only 15,000 due to a myriad of challenges. Witchcraft is high on the list of barriers to the attainment of a tuberculosis-free environment.
What we try to do is we work with whoever he believes in. If it's a prayer camp, we engage the prayer camp. If it's a fetish priest, we engage the fetish priest, and we come into agreement that continue your spiritual things, give us the chance to do the physical things, and we went together. And almost invariably, they've agreed. If it's when you start rubbishing everything that they believe in, that then they put up the resistance not to cooperate with you.
Ghana currently has 113 Gen Experts machines, one of the latest technology used in the diagnostics of TB. But the country stagnated in progress owing to the changing nature of the epidemic. The control program is bent on achieving results to ensure the machine is available in all 216 districts across the country.
Between 50 and 60% of our people have access to TB culture facilities, which is the mycobacterial growth indicator tube. We have the Lyme probe assay, which is also available. We cannot put it everywhere, but we have a system where we collect specimen and transport to these diagnostic sites. Just yesterday, another new diagnostic equipment, which is called a TB lamp, was introduced to us in this program. And we are evaluating it to see.
Dr. Frank Bonso called for an ambitious plan to eliminate TB and spoke of efforts to reach high-risk communities in Ghana.
So what we have done is to acquire mobile screening vans. And right now we have 4 in the country. And all those communities, like mining communities, like the prisons, we do targeted interventions using this mobile van.
You're still watching Midday Live. We have more shortly. To one of our headline stories, which is indeed good news. Media General swept 6 awards at the 2018 Radio and Television Awards, RTP Awards, held Saturday night at the Accra International Conference Center. The show was organized by Big Events Ghana. Johnny Hughes took the TV Morning Show Host of the Year. Alfred Okansi won the TV Male Newscaster of the Year, making it the 2nd time for Alfred. News 360 won the TV News Program of the Year. Radio Development Show Host of the Year went to Brighter Sempa of Onua FM. Parkwesi Simpson with our sister station Connect FM won the Best Radio Personality for the Western Region. And Radio Personality of the Year, Greater Accra Region, went to Host of Sunrise on 3FM, Winston Amoa. We are proud of them, and we say a big congratulations to all the award winners. Let's look at some other stories. And students of the Shai Technical Senior High School in the Volta region are conducting practical lessons under trees. Eva Tiboka reports 13 classes of the school study under tree.
The school lacks structures for classes. Sheds have been erected, but that is not enough. Classes are therefore shared. Teachers and students are compelled to study, despite interferences from other classes. Studying under trees means whenever the rain threatens, there would be no school. The school is admitting 200 freshers, and that appears to be the headache of the school authorities. Head teacher of the school, Joy Kwebu, says although 2 families have donated 200-acre land to the school, it is yet to be developed. Minister for Special Development Initiative Hawa Kumsin, on a tour to the coastal belt, visited the school.
I thought the era of schools under trees is a thing of the past, because we were told schools were built and a whole lot. So I thought maybe it's the finishing of the classroom that we'll be doing by now. Little did I know that we still need classroom block for Shia Secondary School.
Hawa Kumsin is considering using part of the 1 million per constituency fund to address some of the challenges in the school.
Together with the MCE and the staff, with the Development Authority, that's the Coastal Development Authority, we're going to solve this problem. That is why the Ministry of Special Development Initiative is being created. And the 1 million to the constituency will now realize that it's good the president is fulfilling this promise.
Thank you very much. We are grateful. Your visit is going to yield a result. We believe it was God who brought you down here.
She again assured the teachers of a staff common room soon to facilitate their work. Meanwhile, the school is also benefiting from a solar-powered mechanized limited borehole under the 1 million per constituency fund.
And more on education, students of Avetime Senior High School are hard-pressed with accommodation and classrooms, while 1,000 students capacity building to accommodate students remain uncompleted since 2007. Eva Tiboka was at the school and now reports about the plights of the students and their teachers.
Built in 1996 with 61 students, the school now has a population of over 600. This year, 350 students have been placed in the school. Hard pressed with space, classrooms are converted into dormitories, but that is still not enough.
The school has been given the boarding status since 2011. Now the population stands at about 600. The girls are outnumbering the boys because we have a structure at the back over there which can even accommodate about 1,000 girls. But the project has been abandoned. I'm very lucky. A citizen gave me one room just nearby. The headmaster has no place, no accommodation for staff, no accommodation for the headmaster.
Available classrooms are congested, with the home economics class accommodating 120 students. A facility that would have helped ease the situation. 1,000 students capacity dormitory project has stalled since 2007.
It's quite a difficult one considering that we have turned most classrooms into dormitories. And so we actually have a dormitory that could take a capacity of about 1,000 students, and yet it's uncompleted.
The Minister for Special Development Initiative, Hawa Kumsen, has promised an urgent intervention.
We were here to inspect the sanitation project that we are doing here, the WC that we have given to the school, only to run into this major problem. Completion of this dormitory, the girls' dormitory, which was started in 2007 and up to now is not completed. The Ministry of Special Development Initiative will come and take up the project and then will complete it.
Sanitary conditions for both teachers and students are also not the best. The minister says the ministry will soon hand over a 10-seater toilet facility to improve on hygienic conditions.
A structure which has been built for years. Every government abandoned this project. And with this ministry, we are going to make sure that building is completed.
The minister and her team were on tour to inspect progress of work on ongoing projects in the Volta region.
To someone, the former Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Alfred Oko-Vandapoy has called for open dialogue on the free senior high school and double track system. The Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South insisted even though the free education is a statutory requirement, quality must not be compromised.
Secondary education, including technical and vocational education, according to Article 25 of the 1992 Constitution, shall be made generally available and accessible to all by every appropriate means and by the progressive introduction of free education. Article 38 tasks the state to provide educational facilities at all levels, in all regions, and make those facilities available to all citizens. Clause 2 of Article 38 again mandates government to, within 2 years after the coming into force of the Constitution, draw up a program for the provision of free compulsory universal basic education within the following 10 years. However, 2.5 decades have passed without majority of Ghanaians having access to quality basic functional literacy. In response to these, the current government instituted the free senior high and double track education policies. But the former Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Alfred Oko-Vandapoy insists the approaches require emergency examination.
We need to want to give free education to our children. It's a commitment of all government. But free education must come with quality. If we are just giving free education and it does not guarantee quality, then what have we achieved? I think that the government needs to sit down and bring people to the table. The implementation that is happening now is not the best.
Alfred Oko-Vandapoy also called for attention to vocational and technical education.
People are sewing every day. So if you are a seamstress, your income is assured. If you are a tailor, if you are a carpenter, if you use your hands, that is the way to go. And you always have an income to make a living.
Oko-Vandapoy threw these challenges to the government following the first passing out of 56 trainees from the Chencha Skills Development Center. The graduates obtained a 6-month free skill training in dressmaking, catering services and beads making, amongst others.
Let's head straight to the Ashanti region, where school children at Setrodumase and 6 adjoining communities in the Idra Setrodumase municipality will now have access to computers after years of theoretical lessons in ICT. This follows the handing over of a model computer laboratory by Friends of Yamransa and Helping Africa Foundation to the community.
The 45-seater computer laboratory donated by the 2 US-based NGOs is expected to aid the pupils in practical ICT studies. More than 8,000 school children within the catchment area would benefit from the facility. The Municipal Director of Education, Patrick Ofori, said the center will bridge the rural-urban digital gap.
It will also help the teachers to teach with the right implements.
The president of Friends of Yamransa, Dr. Deborah Rose, is optimistic the center will improve the ICT knowledge of beneficiaries.
I expect for them to become educated people in general liberal arts education, not just computer education. We definitely hope that the parents and the elders will be able to learn too, not just the students.
Executive Director of Helping Africa Foundation, Jafet Ayiku, appealed to the community to maintain the facility.
It will be a big shame for us to come back a year, 2, 3 years from now to find out that the center has fallen apart. So I'm going to appeal to all of you. This is a community-based initiative, and so you must care for it.
Parliament is in the process of amending the Companies Act to ensure a business-friendly environment. The Act currently regulates the activities of businesses in the country. The Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee has been engaging stakeholders on the bill.
The Act, the Select Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs and its stakeholders argue, needs to be amended to reflect the current socio-economic and political trend. A bill is currently before Parliament to amend portions of it. The Constitutional and Legal Committee held a forum for stakeholders to make inputs. A legal practitioner said Kwesi Asante underscored the need to maintain a singular regulatory regime for capital markets, which is controlled by the Security and Exchange Commission and not under the Companies Act.
One introduction that they have brought is that for what is called pre-incorporation contracts, these are contracts that are entered into by a company prior to its incorporation, that it has to be ratified. That means the company must adopt the contract within 18 months of the company coming into being. I think this is a bad idea because there is no reason why the company cannot do it after 18 months.
He laments the bill does not deal with the needs of small businesses.
I think that's the regulatory challenge. We've had our Companies Act since 1963. The concern is that there are compliance requirements, there are filing requirements which are not suitable for small businesses. But I think the bill hasn't sought to address that. But the question is whether it is this bill who should address that, or that if you are a small enterprise and you want to do business, you can look at other forms of doing business, which include using registration of business names.
Chairman of the committee, Ben Abdallah, said the committee will consider the concerns raised by the stakeholders.
If you don't want to be regulated by the company's law because you feel that your company is of a medium size, then you can go for a different law. For instance, sole proprietorship. That is where one person can set up a business and run the business without necessarily restricting himself or bringing himself under the purview and the ambit of the company's law. The committee is going to take a second look at the concerns and will decide whether some of the concerns have to be incorporated in the current bill. In fact, a lot of the concerns that are raised are legitimate though.
The Companies Act has been in use by the business community since 1963.
This is still Midday Live. We have sports next. To stay. Thanks for staying. Let's look at some international stories. And President Donald Trump's controversial nominee for the Supreme Court's Brett Kavanaugh has been sworn in following weeks of rancorous debates. The Senate earlier backed his nomination by 50 votes to 48. Brett Kavanaugh had been embroiled in a bitter battle to stave off claims of sexual assaults, which he denies. But after an 11th-hour investigation by the FBI into the allegations, enough wavering senators decided to support the nomination. His confirmation hands Donald Trump a political victory ahead of key midterm elections in November. Let's get some entertainment stories now. And this afternoon, we're focusing on Okomfo Kwadeng, who has returned to the music scene.
I loved Okomfo Kwadeng's performance coming back, and you know, the only bit that I wouldn't really applaud is the fact that he was trying to introduce new songs. No, a stage like this, you come with your hit songs like Kitty did, like Kwame Eugene did, like Wendy Shea did. It's all beautiful back-to-back songs, and people get excited. You give them a good time for their money.
And that'll be all this afternoon. And we say, once again, a big congratulations to all our award winners here at Media General. I'll bring you some more on the RTP Awards on News 360, which is at 7. My name is Wendy Lai. Do have a lovely afternoon and enjoy the rest of our programs.